Hello everyone and welcome back. Today is the part 4 of my Redis server. We will continue our implementation. So let's go to source files, and as you can see in the first videos we create our main function that gets the port, and we have our Redis server which basically gets shutdown and in charge of shutdown and run commands. And when we say run, after listening on the port we will accept the client's connection and get using threads we will get our requests and respond to them accordingly. And for the responses we will use process command in command handler class. In our command handler we will have a process command which will parse the response commands using Redis protocol. And we tested this in the last video, saying if it is working with the client, which was working okay. I mean, I didn't see any problems. We had like our debugging print statements and everything seemed fine, I guess. And today we can start, in this video, we can start our database class. And it will be a little bit intense, but have fun. So first of all, I will create database classes, header and this database.h file is database.cpp. Let's say include one back, include this database header. And in this header we start by saying if and define this database header. We will say define and if. Okay, so let's say class Redis database, and we will be implementing our class. It will be a big one. So first I want to say let's have two different parts, public and private. And in public we will have a singleton instance getter. So I will say get the singleton instance. We will get back to some point. I just want to edit while it's in my mind. Get and in private we have structure, let's say default, so opposite structure, again it will be default. We will have one more is constant. This database address equals delete, and we will have this database address operator constant. This database address equals delete. we will have more stuff, but this will be it. And for here, we will have our commands that we discussed before. We will implement all of these in the Redis database class. We have commands, operations, of key value list and hash. This will not be easy. And I want to get the instance, use it, and server is down. So in the database header, let's start with persistence. We will have dump load database from a file. I talked about this before. Just like the real Redis server, we will have a file that is saving the point we are at the server. But yeah, we will implement them. So I will just say constant string address, and let's get file name. And same with dump and load, because we also need header string. We will call this in our main function. Here I left the place before, so we will say first we will need to include the address, include and Redis database header. Let's say if our Redis database get instance function dumps, and let's say dump dot my database, because the database, using the database, I am implementing mine version, so I will call it my database. If it doesn't do it, we will say std error think database new line. Else we will say std cout, and it will say database dump to dump dot my database and line. Okay, I think this concludes our main function, which will check seconds. Which will save every 5 minutes our database, and we will get it when we start a new server. We will have our database installed in exist in the directory we are working on. And yes, this is enough for the main file. Now we need to focus on this database class, which will take some time. And actually, we can also conclude our server implementation, which we did a lot, but I will also set up signal handling for Graceful Shutdown. It means even if you use Ctrl+C C to close the terminate the program, we will shut down properly. So I will say void setup signal handler, and in the C++ file, before the initiating the class, I will say void signal handler. It will have int signal number, and it will check the global server we created before. Global server. If the global server is existing, we will say std cout signal number shutting down and new line. And at this point, we will say global server shutdown. And then we will exiting the signal number. Shutdown is a function, and signum is put it here, and we need another function. So in the Redis server, we don't have it. Oh, okay. And this will be our signal handler. Now we need to set up the hidden signal handler. I want to make it type, so just copy. Void setup signal handler. It will, this function will handle the signal. So I will say signal integer, and signal handler. We need the signal, so we will need to get it in the each header. Yes, it is in the signal header. Yes, signal H. And when we initialize the server class, we will also need to call for the signal setup signal handler. So setup signal handler will call signal, which will handle the Ctrl+C signal and exit our server. And when I look at this, I think this concludes our Redis server functions. Now we just need to shut down properly. So before shut down, persist the database. Let's say if Redis, we need to include the database tool, include Redis database. So we will check if the database get instance.dump, the same way we did in the main function. If the dump dot my database we will say std the out will be same as this one. Else, why we cannot get this? Mistake, getting instance down. There's a mistake, but maybe it will fix later. Else we will print error saying dumping database new line. Okay, before shutting down, we will parse the database and I'm not sure why we are seeing this problem at this point, but it happens. Our class type is its database. Why is showing an error? Oh, I see. Okay, my bad. Now it's correct. So we are done with our Redis server. In the Redis server class, we are setting up the Redis server, starting the server loop, and shutting down. Graceful shutdown, it can be called. We also have signal handler in C++ file, so I think there's only, I think it's just missing points for now. Oh, my bad, I again forgot something important. I forgot to give it the last name. Redis server setup signal handler. Okay. Now it is all. Okay, now we finished our Redis server and main. In this part of the video, I decided not to go too deep in the database class because it will be very deep when it started. And for that, I only want to put I don't even want to put any function in this C++ file. We only include the class and we have the header file, which shows us how we will, what we will be having. And we will have another maybe 20 function for our use cases, but I want to go back to my Redis command handler, header and C++ file. And in the command handler, this is all for the header. It looks fine. In the command handler C++ file, we are parsing the response and returning tokens. And in the process command, after we get the response, we get the for debugging. I can just comment them out. We get the commands, which is tokens. The first token, index 0. We are transforming them to uppercases. Good. This will be our response, and let's also include our database class here. Redis database header, and after creating the response variable, we will ask Redis database database DB, and Redis database we will say get instance. We don't have a get instance function yet, but when we have it, it will get the instance before calling, before checking the comments. And we can have our first command saying if cmd equals ping, response will be plus pong return new line. Of course, not letters. And in the wrong order. Okay. And we will continue like this, saying else if, I don't know, command equals echo. In that case, we will say something, something. And this will be a long list. You can also use switch case statements, but in C++, else if and switch cases are almost the same speed. And I am sure it's a C++ program, so it will be working pretty fast. And I am not worried about that. And if it is not one of these commands, eventually we will have a long list. It will be returning error. Error. Command return new line. Okay. In this, so we'll start with ping, echo, and flush all, like we talked about in the use cases. Then we will have key value operations. And then we will have list operations. And we will be continuing with hash operations. And after hash, I think this will conclude our implementation. And yes, I can even take less space. So like this. So these two will be for debugging if we need them. We know they are working, and this is supposed to work, but I think we will have a compile error because we don't have it. Yeah. We are still missing the functions in the header file we created. We don't have the bodies for them. Maybe we can just create empty bodies. Go with it. Base get instance static. This is the get instance method, right? Yes. It will get instance, so it will say Redis database instance return instance. And we will have bump and load functions. In the we will let's put some return statements for now, so compile will not give me errors. And same here, return true. I think this should make, and we can test if the ping is working, because that's what we implemented at this point. I will say that is my Redis server, my Redis client. If I say ping, it says pong. If I say ping again, it says pong. It doesn't matter the cases we are using, but we are getting pong, and this is our first command working. I guess this is enough for this video. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.